is something you would want to curse yourself with. And then what I learned to do, I think, was to stop saying things that made me weak. And I'm still trying to do that, because I'm always feeling when I talk whether or not the words that I'm saying are either making me align or making me come apart. And I think the alignment, I really do think the alignment I think alignment is the right way of conceptualizing it, because I think if you say things that are as true as you can say them, let's say, then they come out of the depths inside of you. Because we don't know where thoughts come from. We don't know how far down into your substructure the thoughts emerge. We don't know what processes of physiological alignment are necessary for you to speak from the core of your being. We don't understand any of that. We don't even conceptualize that, but I believe that you can feel that. And I learned some of that from reading Carl Rogers, by the way, who's a great clinician, because he talked about mental health in part as the coherence between the spiritual or the abstract and the physical, that the two things were aligned. There's a lot of idea of alignment in psychoanalytic and clinical thinking.
If you really want to be successful, you need to make sure that you are training your mind every single day to go out and achieve excellence. You don't want to ever settle for second place or second best. You always want to strive to be the best and stay hungry to constantly improve, because the moment you let up, somebody else is going to take your spot, because other people have that same mindset of wanting to be the best, but you have to constantly be the best. And in order to do that, you're going to have to make sure that you are living your best potential and going all in everything that you do. Make sure that you don't give half effort anywhere, because that will show and then you'll start to crumble. So make sure that everything you do is just positive and 100% committed. Another huge key is you're going to want to have good time management. And if you think you don't have enough time in a day, make more time. That means wake up earlier or stay up later to put time aside to focus on your dreams and your goals and what you truly want to accomplish in life, because there is enough time. Everybody in this world has 24 hours, but it's all about how you use those 24 hours throughout your day to make your dreams happen. You're also going to want to make sure that you truly believe in yourself deep down, and you have just an unreal amount of confidence, because you should know that you're able to go out and accomplish whatever it is that you want with enough time and enough energy and effort focused on what it is, that task that you truly want to accomplish.
Let's say you're miserable and unhappy. Okay, here's a cure. Find what's valuable and let it go. So we could say, well, maybe it's a relationship that you have. Maybe it's a relationship with your parents, right? And the relationship is pathological, but you're locked into it. You value it, and no wonder, because it's a relationship with your parents. And you're suffering terribly because of it. Well, what do? Maybe you let it go. It's a sacrifice. And the idea is that, well, that'll clear the future for you. Well, very frequently when people are suffering terribly, not always, because sometimes you just suffer stupidly, blindly, and without recourse, you know? You get cancer, and then you die. So we have no idea how to deal with that. But sometimes the reason that you're suffering is because you just won't let go of the thing that's biting you. And you think, well, I can't let go of, and I've had clients like this. I can't stop communicating with my mother, who phones me 3 times a day, every day of my life, and never says anything that isn't unbelievably critical and demeaning. I can't let that go. It's like, well, that's not such a good idea. The funny thing too, often when people let something like that go, it goes away, sorts itself out, and then comes back. So they don't even end up losing it. But unless they're willing to let it go, to sacrifice it, they make no headway whatsoever. And so one of the rules is, if people are impeding your development, you sacrifice your relationship with them, right? It's a very, very rough rule. In order to have any positive meaning in your life, you have to have identified a goal, and you have to be working towards it. And there is a technical reason for that. And the technical reason, as far as I can tell, is that the circuitry that produces the kind of positive emotion that people really like is only activated when you notice that when you're proceeding towards a goal that you value. And so that means that if you don't have a goal that you value, you can't have any positive emotion. So technically that's the incentive reward system, and the underlying circuitry is dopaminergic. And when that circuitry is activated, then it's part of the exploratory circuit. It gives you the sense of being actively engaged in something worthwhile. And that's, you tend to think of positive emotion as something produced by reward. But there's 2 kinds of positive emotion. One is the reward that's associated with satiation, and that's consumatory reward, and that's the reward you get when you're hungry and you eat. But the thing about eating when you're hungry is that it destroys the framework within which you were operating. Right? It's time to eat. Well, you eat, and then that framework's no longer relevant. So the consumatory reward eliminates the value framework, and then you're stuck with, well, what are you going to do next? And so the consumatory reward has with it its own problems, but the incentive reward is constantly what keeps you moving forward. as long as things are working out, well then you're mildly happy, and if they don't work out, well then that's another problem. You see, these are different sizes. There's a reason for that, and that's because negative emotion has more potency unit for unit than positive emotion does. And so what that means is that people are more reactive. People hate a small loss more than they like an equivalent gain. And so we're tilted to some degree towards a bias for negative emotion. And that is also dependent on temperament, because somebody who's very, very low in neuroticism, that's basically anxiety and emotional pain susceptibility, something like that. So that would be the threshold for experiencing a certain level of anxiety or emotional pain, but also the length of time that would take to recover. It's something like that. And so, but for the standard human being, loss hurts more than gain rewards. And so it's useful to know that, because it helps you understand yourself and other human beings. Even if you're trying to motivate someone to do something, loss avoidance is often a powerful motivation as well as gain.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.